Okay, guys. Today let's see about AWS S3. Okay, so S3 is simple storage service. Okay, so in case if you want to save any of the datas like archive datas like videos, audio, or any files, then you can use AWS S3. Okay, it is an object storage. Okay, it is an object storage service from AWS. So like you can store any amount of data and you can access it from anywhere. Okay, and it will be replicated between multiple availability zones so that you will have the durability of 99.11 nines. Okay, 11 nines means actually it is like very less possibility of going unavailable. Okay, so so uh, S3 bucket, it will be hosted in multiple availability zones. For example, you are creating a file. Okay, like file.txt. Okay, so this will be sent to multiple availability zones like AZ1, AZ2, AZ3. Okay, so a copy like file.txt, file.txt, and file.txt. So no matter like in case if this availability zone is gone, even the file will be available from another availability zone. So it is like 99.99999, like 11 nines. It is like very highly available. Okay, so in case if you want to deploy any of the static websites, for example, you have a website which has to display the constant data all the time, then also you can use AWS S3. Okay, and like for example you have an video streaming platform. Okay, let's assume we have a video streaming platform, and like we will be hosting those application like we have an app and then we have an web server. Okay, we have an web server. It is, let's assume it is hosted on a EC2. Okay, and then we have attached some storage to it, and then it is working fine. Let's assume it is like Amazon Prime. Let's assume it as Amazon Prime. So Amazon Prime will have videos, right? So in case if you are saving videos, like for example, if each video is like 2 GB, how many, like you will have thousands of movies, right? In case if you are storing it in the EBS volumes, then it will be full and it will be costing more. So instead of this, what you can do, all the static data you can put it in the web server, and then all the video content, okay, all the video content you can move it into the S3 bucket. You can create a S3 bucket and then you can move it. Okay, so that you can access it from here, and it will be like cheap compared to other volumes. So you can configure the web server in such a way like static content will be accessed from web server, and then video content can be accessed from S3 bucket. Okay, so like here we create buckets. Okay, in S3 we create something called buckets. Okay, so if you take S3 bucket, so S3 bucket, it will be like we will be creating buckets. Okay, S3 bucket. So this bucket, it is like global. Okay, so it will not have any specific region and it will be global. And always the bucket should have unique name. Okay, unique name. It shouldn't be used by anyone anywhere. Okay, when you create a bucket, it should always have unique name, and then you can select a region in case if you want like where it has to be selected. But it will be like globally accessible. Okay, we can access it from anywhere. And naming convention must be globally unique and contains lowercase numbers and hyphens. Okay, you shouldn't use any capital letters. And you can upload any kind of document. You can upload audio file, video file, PDF, JPGs, whatever you want. You can upload in the S3 buckets. Okay, and versioning. We have versioning. Okay, what is versioning? So if you know properly, Git is a versioning tool, right? So similarly, what is versioning? You can keep multiple versions of a file. Okay, for example, we have a file called file.txt. Okay, and inside this we have data called 123. Okay, and then you have deleted that file again. If you have deleted that file, it will go away. But again, when you create a file.txt with the data 456, and then if you delete it, it will go away. But in case if you are doing versioning, in case if you are having file.txt with the data 1 2 3, okay, it will be like version 1, okay, and again you are creating the file.txt with the data 4 5 6, okay, this will be created as version 2. So what will happen, the latest changes which we have made like version 2, it will be at top, okay, and then version 1 it will be like sub branch. So even if you want to see the data of this version 1, you can see, okay, it will be creating versioning and it will be seeing. So by default this versioning will be disabled, okay, by default the versioning will be disabled. So if you want versioning to be enabled, you have to enable it, okay. So but one thing is there, if you enable it once, you will not be able to delete it again, okay. You will have an option only to suspend, okay, you can only suspend, you cannot delete the versioning once it is enabled to the bucket, okay. And the versioning will be not enabled to a file, it will be enabled to the entire s3 bucket, okay. It will be applied to this entire bucket, not for any specific file. It will not be applied for file.txt, it will be applied for the entire bucket, okay. And then storage classes, okay. So this is like a very important thing. So in s3 we have like different storage classes. So by default always it will be standard. In case if you are not changing, it will be always standard, okay. And then like what is standard, like if you are able to create any files, you will be able to download or access it immediately, okay. So it is like a bit costly, whereas we have something called intelligent tiering, okay. So what it does, instead after certain duration, for example you have kept a file in standard, and then after certain duration, in case if you are not using, that has to be moved to next level, like where it should cost less, okay. Then you can go to intelligent tiering, okay. And then in case if you're not accessing it frequently, and if it is like accessed only in 30 days or something, then you can move to standard infrequently accessed. So what it will happen, you will be charged very less on the storage, but each time you try to access it, you will be charged a bit, like for each download or each access, you will be charged a little bit. And in case if you want certain files to be like for very long time, it has to be saved at one place, then you can go with Glacier and Glacier Deep Archive, okay. So this will be like it will be very cheap. And then in case if you have to save any log files for audit or something for very long time, then you can save the files in the Glacier and Glacier Deep Archive, okay. So you can set the lifecycle management, okay. Lifecycle management, like it automatically transitions object to different storage classes. For example, in the lifecycle management, if particular file is in standard, like in case if it is like from last 30 days, in case if it is not accessed, then it will go to intelligent tiering, okay. In case if it is not accessed from last 90 days, then it will go to standard IA. In case if it is not accessed from 1 year, then it will go to Glacier. Like that you can set the life cycle, okay. That is called object lifecycle management, okay. And then you can actually configure IAM policies, okay. So in case like if you create an S3 bucket, by default it will be private bucket, okay. It will be by default private. It will not have access to any users except the user, the user who created that bucket. Like in case if I am creating, only I myself and the admin, we have root access, only those two guys will have access. Apart from that, no one will be able to access. So in case if you have to give access to any of the users, then you have to enable the policies and you have to give the IAM permissions to them, okay. In case if you are not giving IAM policies, IAM access, then they will not be able to access those things. So the policies will be written in JSON format. So how this JSON format will be, so initially we will have version, okay. This is the version of that rule which is written, okay. So this is the version, and then in the statement section you will have the effect, okay. Effect, here it is telling us allow means it will allow the access for everyone, okay. And principal, so here it is telling us star, so anyone can access any resources, means any file in S3 bucket, it is allowing all the files. In case if you want to, if you don't want to allow, you can give it as a deny, okay. And then what is the action, S3 get object, so whatever object it is available in S3 bucket, you will be able to see, okay. And then resource is like ARN AWS S3, this is S3 bucket, right? You have to give the name of the S3 bucket. When you do this one, then actually you will be able to access that file anywhere, okay. This is the JSON bucket policies which will be written. And ACLs are nothing but same like giving read write permissions to the files. Okay. And encryption, so actually we have two types of encryption. One is server side encryption and client side encryption. So server side encryption we have SSE S3. So server side encryption, it is managed by S3. Okay. And then we have server side encryption, it is managed by key managed service. Okay. And then we have something called client side encryption. So this client side encryption, in case if you have any clients, they will be encrypting it from their end. Okay. And multi-part uploads. Okay, in case if you have very large file like file of 15 GB, you cannot upload each file. If in case if you are uploading it as single file, then it will be consuming more time. So instead of that, you can split that big file 15 GB file into 5 GB, and you can upload each separately, so that all the three files it will upload same time. Okay, in case if it takes 15 GB to upload 1 hour, you can divide it into 5 GB. So like in case if it is like 1 hour, then you will be able to complete the task in 20 minutes. Okay, you will be able to complete that upload in 20 minutes. Okay, so multi-part upload means you can split the big files into smaller parts and then you can upload. And we have something called pre-signed URLs. So what is pre-signed URLs? So let's assume we have S3 bucket. Okay, we have S3 bucket, and by default it is private. Okay, by default it is private. But in case if someone, like for example, let's assume it as Amazon Prime itself, Amazon Prime. Okay, and then let's assume you are subscribing it. Okay, you are subscribing. So if I go here, so now let's see, I am logging into Amazon Prime. Okay, so I am able to see all the contents. Okay, I am able to see all the contents, movies, everything, it is visible. So in case if I have to search something, I will go to movies. Okay, so we have all these things. Okay, but the thing is like, when I click on play, I will not be able to play. Okay, what it is playing or what. Okay, so actually I will not be able to play. Only some free movies I will be able to see. In case if some new movies are there, it will tell me to join Prime Watch Now. Okay, similarly what happens normally, so in case if you're we have Amazon Prime, and we have this S3 bucket. So here we have all the movies. Okay, all these movies are there. Okay, in case if you are subscribing, okay, then what will happen, it will send to this Amazon Prime, and this Amazon Prime, it will create a URL. Okay, URL. So the user who have this URL, okay, here in with case of ours, it will be username password. Okay, the only user who have that username password, he will be able to access this Amazon Prime site. The users, like normal users, like for us, like now we try to access like normal user, we will not have access to this one because we have not subscribed. We will be able to see the data, but will not be able to see the videos, right? Because it is subscribed. Similarly, we have an S3 bucket. In case if we have to share this data only with a particular user, then we have to create pre-signed pre-signed URL. Okay, when we create pre-signed URL, that particular user you will be able to see. Who is the user? The user who have the URL. The in case if some other users try to access that one, they will not be able to access. Okay, so in case if you have to give temporary access to any of the users, we have to create pre-signed URLs. Okay, so we can give it based on months and minutes. So in case if you are subscribing for 1 month, they will provide access for 1 month. Okay, after that it will automatically expire. Similarly, this pre-signed URLs, you can define time. So in case if the time is expired, it will automatically stop the access. Okay, that is the pre-signed URLs. And replication. Okay, so we can do cross region replication and the same region replication as well. So because of this, we will have like a high availability. And static website hosting, for example, you have some static website, like only you have to display some images and contact details, those things. You can create a static website, and then you can host it in the S3 bucket. Okay, let's see each and everything now. Now let's try to create a bucket. Okay, so DevOps demo 1 2 3 4 5 6. Okay, and then we are keeping everything as common. Create bucket. Okay, so the bucket is created successfully. Okay, DevOps demo 1 2 3 4 5. So this is the bucket we have created, right? Now let's just select this one. So we don't have any files here. Okay, now let's try to upload few files. Okay, so how we can upload? You can click on upload, or else you can just drag and drop. Okay, so let me come here. So we have few images here. Okay, I'll just select these things, and then I will just paste it here. Okay, so it will automatically upload. Okay, so we have selected all the files. Just select everything, and then you can click on upload. Okay, so the files will be uploaded. Okay, so by default, if we have seen, when we created a bucket, actually we didn't allow any public access, right? So if we come here, close, so all these files are available. Okay, so let's open this one. So we have the URL by default. Okay, so when you try to click on this one, actually this is like public URL. Okay, so when I try to click on this one, it will throw error. Okay, see, access denied. This is like public URL. Okay, these S3 buckets are global, right? So it is like public URL. If you come back, okay, so in case if you are to open, like what is the image here, you can just click on open. Okay, so this is like local user, so we are able to see the image. Okay, so when you are logging it as a local user, like the user who created it, you will be able to see. But when you try to access it as public user, you will not be able to access these things. Okay, so you can upload the files like this. Okay, now let's see something. Okay, now let's come to properties. Okay, if you see here, versioning. Okay, we have seen versioning, right? So it is by default disabled. Okay, now what we can do, we can just try to create a file. Okay, new file, file.txt. Okay, and then we can write data like 1 2 3. I will just save it. Okay, we have created the file. Okay, I'll just come to this bucket. Okay, so I am just dropping it here. Okay, so the file is there. I will just select upload. Okay, we have this file. Okay, let me open this one. Open. So if you see, the data is 1 2 3. Okay, now let me try to delete that file. Okay, I will just come here, select this file, and then delete. Okay, so we have to type in permanently delete, then only we will be able to delete that file. Delete object. So the object is deleted. Okay, now if we come back, so we don't have that file. Okay, so let's try to delete these things as well. So that file is permanently deleted. Okay, so if we come back, so inside this one we have only 3 files. Okay, we don't in case if you want to use old data, or else if you want to see old data, we will not be able to see. Why? Because the versioning is not enabled. Now let's come to this file. Okay, properties. Now under versioning, click on edit. Okay, now you can enable. Okay, enable save changes. Okay, now if you see, bucket versioning is enabled. Okay, now let me come to this bucket again. Okay, I will just copy paste this file again. Okay, I will paste this one, and then I will upload. So what is the data in this? The data is 1 2 3, right? Open. So the data is 1 2 3. Okay, now let it be. Now what happens? Now I will come to this bucket. So this is, in case if you see, now we have something called show versions. Okay, click here. So in case if we have multiple versions, it will show here. Okay, before this option was not available, because now we enabled versions, it is coming. Let it be off now. Now let me go to this file again. Okay, I will go to this file again. I will just open this file. 123 is there, right? Now I will remove this one. Okay, now I will put it as after enabling versioning. Okay, I am just uploading it as after I am saving it. Save. Okay, now I will just move this here. Okay, so the file is there. I will just select and upload. Okay, now we have the file. Just go back. So we have the file. Okay, now let's open this file. So previously it was like 123, right? Now let's see. Go here, open. If you see, after enabling version, because the new file which we uploaded, it is showing. But now we have to see the data of old file. How we can see? Just come back. So now let's show versions. Okay, just click this here, and then if you see file one, and here under this file one we have file.txt. Okay, so now let's open this one. This is new file. Always the file which is on top, it is new file. Okay, now let's open this one. Okay, now if you see, this is new file, right? This is after enabling versioning. Now let's come here, open. This 123, this is old version. Okay, so similarly, in case if you want to save data of different versions, then you can enable versioning. Okay, and then we have one more option, like as I told before, versioning, once you enable, you cannot change. Okay, you have the option only to suspend. Okay, now what we can do here, bucket versioning is there, like now let's suspend this one. Okay, save changes. Okay, now let's again try to change this file. After suspending. Okay, now I am saving this one. Okay, now let's go to this file, and then from here just I am where is this one, buckets demo. So I am just copy pasting the same file again. Okay, just I am uploading it. Okay, so if I come to these files again, S3, where is show versions, file.txt. Okay, so open after suspending. Okay, this is the latest file, right? Now what happens, we have already suspended the file, right? Now let's see. Now let's come here and try to delete this one. Okay, it is deleted. Now let's come back. If you see, it is like delete marker. Okay, so it has marked this file as delete marker. So what happens in case if you are not showing versions, it will be not showing here. Okay, and then in case if you have this different versions showing, in case if you have to delete any specific version, so we this file, it has data of 123, right? If we select this one and then if we delete, actually it will be permanently deleted. Okay, so if we come back, so we will not have that file. See, only we have two versions. Okay, and then when we delete the original file, it will be delete marker. Okay, it will just not be showing. Okay, so this is how versioning works, guys. Okay, even each time you upload a file, different versions will be created because we have enabled the versions, and versions can be enabled once, and we cannot delete it. We can only suspend it. Okay, and then okay, so and another thing. Okay, so devops demo. Now, um, so we have this image. Okay, let's select this one. Okay, and we have something called properties. Okay, so if you come here, we have something called storage class. Okay, so what is storage class? So this is the storage classes. Okay, so we have different types of storage classes. Default one is standard. In case if you're not selecting anything, it will be standard. Okay, if you come here, close this one, close. So the default one is standard. If you see, by default it is selected standard. So in case if you have to change it to different tier, okay, in case if you have to change it to different storage class, then you can come here. Okay, click on edit. Okay, here we have. Okay, in case if you have to move it to intelligent tiering, just select this one and you can save changes. Okay, so let's come back. So if we come down now, it is intelligent tiering. Okay, so it has changed. So in case if you have to move it to Glacier, just come here, select Glacier Deep Archive. Okay, and then you can save changes. And if you see here, like minimum storage duration, like and availability zones. Okay, in case if you're keeping it in standard, availability zone is greater than or equal to 3. Minimum it will have 3 or else more than 3. Okay, so that your data will be available 99.99999 percentage. Okay, and then intelligent archive, it is also like greater than or equal to 3. And in case if we are keeping it to one zone, it will be only in one availability zone. Okay, and Glacier it will have in multiple locations, but it is for long lived data. Okay, when we if case if you have to move it to Glacier Deep Archive, just select that one and save changes. Okay, so when you come back again, it will be like in Glacier. Okay, this one, right? So if we come to properties, see, it is in Glacier Deep Archive. Okay, so this is how we move it to different storage classes. And okay, pre-signed URLs. Okay, so for example, um, let's come here. Okay, so we have these files. Okay, so by default when we try to access this one, okay, when I try to access this one, so we have this URL. Okay, when we try to access this one, it will throw error because it is public URL and we will not be able to access. This is common. Okay, now we have to give access to this one to one user. Okay, because he have some subscription or something, we have to give access to him. Then what we have to do, actually we have to come here. Okay, just select that one. So once we select this one, we have something called object actions. Okay, just select this one. Okay, and if you see here, share with pre-signed URL. Okay, we have to share it with pre-signed URL. Just select this one. Okay, and if you see, we have something called minutes and hours. Okay, so for example, if you have to give that user access for just like 5 minutes, okay, 5 minutes, we can give 5 minutes. In case if you have to give it for hours, we can give hours. Okay, similarly, like in case if you are subscribing for Amazon Prime application and you are want access for 1 month, then you can convert 1 month into hours. Okay, like for one day it is 24 hours, for 30 days 30 into 24. So based on that you can give. Okay, now I will just give it for 5 minutes, create a presend URL. Okay, so we have this presend URL. Just copy this one. Okay, previously I was not able to access this one, right? Now I will come here, paste it, enter. See, I'm able to access it. Similarly, any user who have this URL, you will be able to access the image which is in my S3 bucket. Okay, these are called presend URLs. So for example, you have to give access to any of your clients temporarily, like he has to download something and you have to give, then you can create presend URLs and you can share. Okay, and next is static website hosting. Okay, in case if you have a website and you have to host it, okay, then you can create static website hosting. Okay, let's come here. Buckets, so I will try to create a new website. So one more thing, like we have this one, by default we have disabled the permissions, right? So in case if you have to enable, then actually you can come here under permissions. Okay, maybe at bucket level permissions. So by default we have blocked the public access, right? In case if you have to allow the public to access this one, you can come here, edit, and then you can just remove this one. Okay, so that anyone we have, like everyone can access, but you can give granular permission using the IAM policies. Okay, now let's see that one. Now let's try to create a bucket. Okay, static website demo 123. Okay, I will just give unique name and then disable, and then we have to give access, right? So let's remove this one for now, and then versioning disable, and everything be like that. Create. Okay, I acknowledge. Okay, so we have created one bucket. Okay, now we have enabled public access as well. Okay, now let's come here. So I have created some files. Okay, where is this one? Index.html and error.html. Okay, I'll just copy this one, or else we have the static files. Okay, just I will copy this one and I will paste it here. So these are like some static website. Just select this one and then upload. Okay, so we have uploaded. Now configurations. Okay, now under configurations, like we have to go to that bucket settings. Now let's come here, properties. Okay, in this is the bucket, right? So we are making the static website in this bucket. Okay, in this bucket properties, if you scroll down at bottom, we have something called static website hosting. Okay, just edit this one. Okay, so by default static website hosting is disabled. Okay, now we have to click on enable. Okay, so host a static website. Okay, and then we have files. Okay, if you come here, just I will open duplicate, come to static website demo. So we should have a file with name index.html. Okay, we have that one. And then if you come here, so we have to give, that is the name, right? We have to give index.html. Okay, and then we have to give the rules, like redirect rules, like in case if you have to access that one, we have to give the rules, right? So let's come to this page. So we have given some sample rule, just to copy this one. Okay, just paste it. Okay, so the version is something, and then statement, the effect is allow, and then principal, it is allowing all. Okay, and then what it is doing, action s3 get object, so it is getting object. And then here they have given the resources. So what is the resource? ARN AWS s3 example bucket. Okay, here we have the bucket, right? This is the bucket name. Okay, just copy this one, and then you can just paste it here. Okay, and then save changes. Okay, some error with AWS. I don't have some permission. Like this, like demo account, I don't have access. Okay, so you can just use the same configuration, and then you have to give the your bit bucket, like your bucket name, S3 bucket name, and then you can use the same configuration. So it will allow all the principals to this S3 object, so that it will get the object. So just what you have to do, you have to define index.html, and then you have to paste the configuration files, and then when you click on save changes, you will be able to access this static website on your web URL. Okay, and the main thing which we have to see here is, okay, so when you select this one under properties, you should enable this one. Where is the under permissions, you have to enable this public access. Okay, otherwise it will be throwing error. So you have to enable this one, and then you have to configure these configurations. So you under properties. Okay, under properties, if you come to bottom, you have something called static website hosting. Okay, so here you have to enable this one, and then you have to create static website, and then you have to pass the index.html. And in case this is optional, in case if you want to give error.html, in case if you are not giving proper URL, then it will throw to error. it will just give the display as error. Okay, and then you have to give the rules. Okay, like how it has to be accessed. So those things you can give rules. Okay, just you can just copy this one here. You can allow. Okay, how I got this one? We can just come to bucket policy to allow static website. Okay, in S3 when you type this one, direct Amazon official.com official website is there. Just click on this one. Just based on your requirement, you can enable this one. If you see, they have unblocked this one. Okay, and then add bucket policy. This bucket policy we have to add. Just copy paste this one. Okay, this is also same. Okay, cities public read get object. Effect is allow principal star s3 get object. Here instead of this bucket name, you can give the bucket name of the bucket which you have created. Okay, so that you will be able to access. Okay, this is what s3 does, guys. Like different options available. So the main thing is like pre-signed URL, and then versioning, and then hosting static website, and lifecycle object management of storage class. Okay, so these are the important concepts. So they may ask you in interview regarding these pre-signed URLs, and then storage classes. Okay.